Hello. This is a rather long video presentation on factoring. We're going to start factoring, and we're going to actually factor for several days before we start our semester review. And then we will continue this when we come back from Christmas vacation. Factoring is arguably one of the most important skills that you will use this year, next year, and in 12th grade. Everything that we learn, every single aspect of factoring, you must know in your future math classes. There is no getting around it. If you forget it, you're going to have to relearn it. It's extremely, extremely important. Some of this, some of you have seen, others of you maybe not. All right, let's begin. Factoring is writing an expression as a product of factors. And what I mean by that is if you take the number 6, if I write it as a product of factors, it could be 2 times 3. I have factored this number. I've written it as a product multiplication of factors. Well, we're going to be doing that with expressions. For instance, 4x plus 2. We want to factor this. Now, we're going to be looking at two main ways of factoring. The first way is by finding a common factor. Common factor and then reverse distribution. If you think about distribution, 2 times the quantity 3x plus 4, when we distribute, we get 6x plus 8. 2 is a factor of 6. 2 is a factor of 8. So what we're going to do here, we're going to look for a common factor of 4 and a common factor of 2. The only common factor is 2, so then I do distribution, and I ask myself, 2 times what is 4? 2x. 2 times what is 2? 1. I factored it. It's a product of factors. We look for the common factor, and then we undo the process of distribution. 2 times what? 2 times what? Let's look at another one. 8x squared plus 12x. Let's make it minus. Lost my squared there. 8x squared minus 12x. Now, well, you notice we have x squared in both. This is like 8xx minus 12x. Notice we have a common factor of x in both expressions. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the number and the variables separately. Common factor of 8 and 12. You could divide both of those by 4. So 4 is the common factor. It's 4x. And then we have 4 times what is 8? 2. We have 1x, we need 2, so we have another x. Minus, so it's a minus. 4 times what is 12? 3. And we have 1x, we got 1x here, we're good to go. And you can check this. 4 times 2 is 8. X times x is x squared. 4 times 3 is 12. And 1x. We have factored the expression. This is reverse distribution. The other way that we factor, common way, is by reverse. I didn't tell you the name of it yesterday. By reversing the process from yesterday. So if we look at what we did yesterday, x minus 2 times x plus 3, we multiplied binomials. X times x, x squared, x times 3, 3x, minus 2x, and minus 6. And the 3x minus 2x gives us x. So we have plus x minus 6. The x squared came from multiplying first terms. The minus 6 came from the last terms, multiplying the last terms. And the x came from the plus 3x to minus 2x, which is doing the inside terms and the outside terms. Inside and outside terms. So when we factor something like this, let's look at x squared plus 6x plus 8. We want to factor this. We want to write it as a product of factors. And the x squared comes from the first terms. So we had an x and an x. We've got to have an x and an x. The last term came from multiplying the last two terms. So what two numbers multiply together to give 8? 4 times 2 or 8 times 1. So if I put an 8 and a 1 here, we'll have to see about my inside terms. So now I have to check 8x, 1x is 9x. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. So we're going to try 4 and 2. Plus 4 plus 2, 4x, 2x gives us 6x. And notice here, I'll do it in pink, we multiplied these two terms and these two terms. So when I check for factoring, I just write it like this. Double smiley face, I call it. All right? All we did is check, and now I've written this as a product of factors. Let's look at another one. X squared minus x minus 12. All right. The first two terms come from x and x. 12, and it's a negative 12, comes from 12 and 1, 6 and 2, 4 and 3. One of them has to be positive, one of them has to be negative. So I'm just going to put a plus and a minus. I don't know which is which. And I'm going to try 6 and 2. plus 6 minus 2, I get plus 6x minus 2x is plus 4x. That's not going to work. Get out the eraser again. And we'll go to 4 and 3, plus 4 minus 3, 4x minus 3x equals 1x. I want negative 1x. Not going to work. But since I have the right number, just the wrong sign, I can just change, instead of plus 4, plus 3, minus 4. And that gives me what I want. Now, if you think about this, x times x, x squared, minus 4x plus 3x is minus 1x, minus 12. All we have done is to undo the process from yesterday. Now we have our expression written as a product of factors. And I forgot this parenthesis right here. Kind of important. Kind of important. All right, I hope this helps. Sorry I'm not going to be there today. I really don't feel well, but I'm sure you guys will be okay. All right, talk to you later. Have a great day.